level of organization to play the game, and everybody has to hear the instructions who doesn't know them yet. Okay, so Hanukkah story. A bunch of you know it, maybe. ¿Me entiendes o no? Más o menos un poco. Puedes traducir. ¿Tienes que hablar mejor inglés que yo? Okay, so the Hanukkah story is basically a while before Jesus came along. So BC. I always forget if it was like 150 or 300 years. I don't know if anybody remembers, but it was like a century, between a century and 3 centuries before Jesus came along. And the Assyrian Greeks were dominating the Middle East, including the land of Israel where a lot of the Jews lived. And at first it was okay, everybody could do their thing, be themselves, it was fine, but then there came in, like, no, you have to practice our religion, you have to worship our idols, you can't be Jews, you can't do this, you can't do that. And a bunch of the Jews were like, fine, we'll do it, whatever, we'll do your thing. We'll do our Jewish stuff too, but we'll do your idol worshiping and your whatever else. And some of the Jews that did not want to assimilate and did not want to take on the new dominant culture got pissed. They killed a couple Jews who were giving in. And then they ran up into the hills and decided, okay, somehow we have to fight. We have to be able to be who we are. We have to get our space back and our culture back and not let it go away. So they fought for a long time against this pretty big organized empire. And these were just these like little schmendricky Jews, I'm sure, who hid in the hills and everything. And they fought through Sukkot, which is a harvest holiday that's, you know, October-ish, depending on how the calendars match up. And Sukkot is an 8-day holiday. And you light candles, and you dance around, and you eat stuff, and you live in huts and everything. And they finally won and got their temple back, which the Greeks had taken and put pigs in it and all kinds of stuff that you're not supposed to do in a temple, or you're not supposed to do if you're a Jew or have anywhere near a Jew. They desecrated it. They did all kinds of stuff. The Jews got the temple back. They won like a certain amount of space where they pushed them out, and they reclaimed the right to be Jews and to have their culture and to not do anything else that they didn't want to do. And they were like, you know, we were in the cave, we were fighting during Sukkot, we didn't get to celebrate Sukkot, so now we're going to have an 8-day party to celebrate the rededication of the temple and us winning. And that's why Hanukkah is 8 days long, even though there's a nice little myth about a candle that burnt, or oil lamp that burned for 8 days, even though it was only supposed to be enough oil for 3. There's really no proof of that, but in the original Hanukkah story, it's like the Sukkot thing. In the original, the first place that anybody's aware of this story being recorded is because of Sukkot. And the reason I like Hanukkah...
why do you like Hanukkah?
The reason I like Hanukkah is because, A, I think it was a time that if the Jews had assimilated and had backed down, that we might not be a distinct culture as Jews today. I think they're pretty responsible. There was Jews other places, but the majority of Jews were there in Israel, so who knows what would have happened. And I like that idea, that you don't have to assimilate, that when a dominant culture comes in, they can't change who you are, and some of the Jews decided we'll on the outside we'll assimilate, but on the inside we'll keep who we are. And some of the Jews decided, you know, we don't even want to assimilate on the outside. We're going to keep who we are, and we're going to show who we are.
Go Jews!
Yes. So I think of Hanukkah as a celebration of people deciding to be who they are and not let anybody tell them, you have to now do this, you have to now do that in order to be safe, or in order to be accepted, or in order to do whatever. And even though so many people don't like Israel now for many reasons, they're very legitimate. One thing about Israel that I like, and if anybody who's been there, you notice this, you go there and every religion and every culture gets to be who they are. Like, you go to a village, you feel like you're in a different country. You go to this other village, you feel like you're in a different country. They have their own religious courts, you have your own rules, you have your own ways of dressing, you have this person has this day off and that person has this day off, and something, I don't know, I'm sure it has nothing to do with Hanukkah, or maybe it does, but something about the Jewish tradition, with all the fucked up stuff that's happened in Israel, that has remained intact to a large degree, that people all live in very like distinct cultures side by side on the same land. So, anybody have anything to add? Hanukkah story? Okay. So now we're going to light the candles, and we're going to say the blessing, sing the blessing. Many of you know it. If you don't know it, just go la 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 la. Because in Jewish tradition, God or whoever, whatever, likes to hear people's voices, even if they're saying all the wrong words. So it's not like sacrilegious to, you're supposed to be saying Hebrew and you're really going blah 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 or whatever you want to say.
Even if it's out of key.
Yes, doesn't matter.
Whose menorah is this? Would they like it back?